everybody, and welcome to Amateur Doll Doctor Online. I'm your amateur doll doctor, Judy Barton, and together with myself and Dribbles, we're going to explore the world of diseased dolls together. I know last week I said that we were going to have author of Valley of the Dolls, Jacqueline Suzanne, with us, but unfortunately Jacqueline has passed away, so it's just going to be myself, Judy Barton, and Dribbles, and you, exploring the diseases and disorders of dolls. Since I don't have a producer, I'm trying to put this show together by myself this week. I do want to announce that next week I will have a very special producer. This person has worked at a television station, and it's a very, very famous station that's nationwide in the United States. Yeah, it's PBS. How exciting is that? I don't want to say his name, but I'm so thrilled, I'm tickled that I get to have one of the premier people from a premier station in the United States of America with us, myself and Dribbles and you, who's willing to explore the diseases of dolls. So this week, we're going to get right into our diagnosis. We're featuring a single doll this week, but this single doll has more than one problem. Let's take a look and see who it is. There we go. That's right. It's Mrs. Beasley. That's right. It's a famous doll from the American TV show Family Affair. Now, Mrs. Beasley is beloved by everyone. Buffy loved her. Jody loved her. Sissy loved her. Mr. French loved her. Everyone loved her. But let's take a look at her face. She's a peachy doll with a very, very pleasant smile. However, her eyes are much too large for her face, which means she's suffering from Graves' syndrome. Her hyperthyroidism has caused her eyes to bulge out like Marty Feldman. It's a disgusting disease that it just adds to her charm. So, because it's so cute and her eyes are so large and bulgy, we're going to just kind of ignore that, but I am going to include that in my diagnosis. When we look at the rest of her, she's just a hot mess. Her feet, when you look at her feet, they're much, much too large and swollen and bloaty. This bloaty foot, I thought, was due to gout. But when I look at other pictures of her, like this one, well, it's not gout. It's something that's very, very common with people who are prescribed medication. She's having a reaction to a medication being stepped down. That medication is prednisone. It's commonly given to people who are suffering from swelling or allergic reactions or rejections to organ transplant. If you look at this picture in particular, you can see her belly is bloated and distended. Her chest is kind of barreled out, and her feet are swollen, and that really adds to her puffy face as well. So I truly believe that Mrs. Beasley has been on prednisone for much too long, and her medication is being stepped down improperly. And she also suffers from Graves' syndrome, which is, as a result of her hyperthyroidism. So that is Mrs. Beasley. She's a complete hot mess, and she really, really needs to see a doll doctor, or a doll specialist, I should say, to get this taken care of. Again, I am an amateur doll doctor, so I think professional doll doctors will agree with my finding this week. I do have the chat open, And I noticed it's been awful quiet during the show. You notice that, Dribbles? Dribbles? Dribbles is asleep now. So, nobody seems to have any questions in the chat. So I am going to make some popcorn. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. This is your amateur online doll doctor, Judy Barton, and Dribbles, Sleepy Dribbles, exploring the world of doll diseases and disorders, dysfunctions and dismays, together with you. I'll see you next time on AmateurDollDoctor.com.